Library additions, town council meets, and students using the Cape Cod RTA to get around. Details on this episode of Barnstable Today. It's Thursday, October 4th, 2012. I'm Sarah Colvin. A $2.7 million project to renovate and add on to the Centerville Library is underway. The rain held off late Wednesday afternoon, and just after the clock struck 4, a groundbreaking ceremony began. Library Director Beth Butler says it's a day that many have waited for a long time.
This is such an exciting moment for us and for the community, and I thank you for your support and all you have done to make this happen. And there is a reason for it. This library has grown. We had a vision for what we wanted to do, and the vision kept growing and growing as more and more people started to use the library. And we cannot have this evening, this event, without bringing some recognition to those people who really make the library what it is, and that's the staff. And I wish you would all have a round of applause for the staff of the Centerville Library. It is only through their welcome touch for everyone who walks through these doors that makes this a place people want to come to. So thank you. This has been a tough week, and I thank you for all you've done.
$2.2 million has already been raised to fund the addition. Learn more about the project on tomorrow's edition of Barnstable This Morning. Town Council meets tonight at 7 o'clock. Council President Fred Chirigotis outlined some of the agenda items on today's edition of Barnstable This Morning. Chirigotis says the evening will begin on a positive note as the Barnstable Post-206 American Legion State Baseball Champs will be recognized.
High school age kids, I think up to age 16 or 17, 16 maybe. Some of whom are on our football team, and they are the state champions, and they will be awarded, they'll be recognized tonight. It's great that we have kids who doing the right thing, working very hard and achieving some success. It's nice to work hard and do the right thing, but it's even better when at the end of the day you achieve some success and some recognition.
An award presentation will also take place early on in tonight's meeting. The Massachusetts Shellfish Officers Association will present Barnstable's own Doug Calwait with the Shellfish Constable of the Year Award. Following that presentation, Mark Ells will provide an update on the Cape Cod Water Protection Collaborative. Heading to the orders of the day, Chirigotis says the first item on the agenda will be an amendment to the town's zoning ordinances that pertain to the storage of fertilizer.
There are so many things that go into the council's work that you would think that there must be a way that fertilizers are stored, that makes sure groundwater is safe. But as we analyze and look, you need to make sure and you upgrade your our ordinances to keep up with the times. So it's not a cost incentive measure. It's a water protection measure, and I think that should be. That'll be referred to a public
That change would prohibit the outdoor storage of commercial fertilizers in the town's groundwater protection overlay districts. A public hearing will be held October 18th. Tonight, a public hearing will be held in regards to using community preservation funds to make repairs to the Hyannis Public Library.
I guess the big thing tonight would be community preservation funds for rehabilitation of the Hyannis Public Library. That should be an interesting debate. I see that a number of libraries have been raising money to build their own structures, and this is money that has been recommended or approved by the Community Preservation Fund because of historic preservation. Our libraries are very important to us in the town of Barnstable. They get great use. Hyannis Public Library obviously gets a great amount of use from both year-round residents and tourists who are here. So it'll be an interesting discussion.
Council may also enter into an executive session to discuss litigation strategy as it pertains to the pending case Marty versus the town of Barnstable. Chirigotis explains.
There is litigation ongoing with regard to a parcel in Barnstable called Cross Street. Cross Street is a street in the village of Centerville on Long Beach Road, which some years ago was actually a lawn was put in on the street. It's a real street. And since then, it has been marked as a town way to water and used as a town way to water with a small little area for a town beach at the end. And one of the abutters to that property has filed suit against the town of Barnstable to rescind any use by the town and revert ownership to an owner somewhere, preferably her, I'm sure. And that is in litigation and scheduled for trial, I believe, at the end of this month. So we need to discuss strategy on how to move forward with
Town Council meets in the Town Hall hearing room tonight at 7 o'clock. You can watch live on Channel 18. The Hyannis Main Street Waterfront Historic District Commission met this Wednesday afternoon. The group approved a change in sign for Treasures and Temptations. Store owner Alan Tabor appeared before the board.
Tell us what you would like to do.
I'd just like to change the font and color of my sign. Folks have been getting me confused with Uda next door at an alarming rate, and
Oh,
Continuation, right?
you should have two sheets there, one showing the existing sign, which is essentially the same color as hers, and then a second sheet that shows what I'd like.
The HHDC unanimously approved the new sign. Also during Wednesday's meeting, the board voted to recommend alternate member Brenda Mazzeo to become a full member on the board.
we have an opening on the board. We are not at our maximum number of members, and I suggest that we make Brenda, or request that the town council make Brenda an active member. Is there any discussion?
Just that it would be definitely added value to this already fine board.
Well, the high season may be over, but that doesn't mean the buses slow down on the Cape and Islands. Cape Cod Regional Transit Authority Administrator Tom Kerr says that while a fall schedule is in place, student travel certainly keeps the buses busy across the Cape.
I've watched various regional transit authorities, partner with their community colleges in the various regions of the Commonwealth, and when Kathy Schatzberg was there, I reached out to her, and we provided shelters on the campus over there, 2 or 3 nice shelters over there. We have a Barnstable Villager service that goes up there on a very regular basis, and we've continued that with the new president. He's been over to our office, and we've talked about opportunities to collaborate. So I obviously would love to make it easier for the many men and women and young folks that go to Cape Cod Community College to get there by public transportation. The other issue that you mentioned, and that is the charter school, the Sturgis Charter School here in Barnstable, as well as Pope John and some other schools that have recently appeared on the scene here on Cape Cod. We as a public transportation system, we can't provide direct school bus service to the various schools around the Cape, but if our fixed route service goes in proximity to those schools, that's fine. So we make it clear that anyone who rides up, anyone is welcome to ride our buses. And but we have been particularly on the Bourne and Sandwich service, the relatively new fixed route service, we've seen an incredibly increase in ridership from a lot of the young children that now go to those schools in the Mid-Cape. It's from September, well, this past month, there's been like a 600% increase in the ridership.
Wow.
It was, and that, it wasn't a real lucrative service before, but every month it was getting better and better and being, okay. But now we've even had to add tripper buses in Mashpee Commons to carry the overload of people, and it goes right by the Sturgis School and goes very close to some of the other schools. So, if we don't care, as long as, people are able to get to where they need to go without taking their car at a relatively affordable price and with reliable service and trained drivers, we encourage everybody to take our service.
You can learn more about the Cape Cod Regional Transit Authority online at capecodtransit.org. With Barnstable Today, I'm Sarah Colvin.